Hey, how you doing? Nope, my name's not Tim, but this might well qualify as an episode of Tool Time. I'm the Lawnmower Lady, and I like fixing small engines. Today's going to be a little unboxing video. I finally broke down and bought a new set of impact drivers and drills, a little combo set. Now, to get this out in the open right at the beginning, I have bought all these tools with my own hard-earned money. No sponsorship, no nothing. But I thought you might be interested in why I got these and maybe take a look at some of the newer stuff that's out there. These little Porter cable tools have been a lifesaver for me. I used to do everything by hand, and about 9 or 10 years ago, I said, hey, I want to get some power tools to help with this. These were very inexpensive. I think I got them at one of the big box stores, maybe $100 and $125, something like that. And they've lasted great. I'm still on the original batteries, but a certain point in time where you need to get a replacement for something. I will freely admit that the batteries are the biggest problem I've had, and this is all my own fault. Believe me, I had a bad habit of when I would rotate the batteries around, I would take the battery out of the drill, which I don't use that often, and I would rotate it into the impact driver, and I would slam that thing in with the palm of my hand, and the battery started falling apart. So as you can see, there's lots of little, bits and pieces I've wire tied together. But again, I've gotten my money's worth out of these tools. So after going in several circles in my own head of whether to go with the red tools or the yellow tools or the blue tools or the green tools, I decided to go with the blue tools because I had a friend help me. I had to replace the rim joist at the back of my house that had some rot in there. So this was like heavy pressure treated 2x10s, and it was really hard with my smaller drill. It could get through it, but I had to change the battery a couple of times. My neighbor has a construction company, and he has a big investment in Makita tools. So I was very impressed with how his worked and how quickly and how well the battery lasted. What I chose to get was the Makita CX20 5RB. It's a combo kit. It's 18 volts. And it comes with a drill driver. It's a 1/2-inch drill. That's the XP-H15. It's 2-speed variable, has a 1/2-inch chuck in it, and it also has a 20-speed clutch, which is very similar to the old one. Also has an impact driver, XDT18, and again, it's a 2-speed, has an assist mode to help you it doesn't start the impact until the screw gets started. And hopefully we'll see all that. Let's dive right into this. I chose the subcompact version of these tools because I wanted something a little smaller. The old ones were great. They were very small, very lightweight, and could work their way into many small places. Plus, I was kind of reluctant to get something with big, giant, honking batteries on them. So let's get this open. Now, there's a lot of complaints online that people say, oh, I got a used tool from Makita because it's been sealed back up with tape. Well, actually, no. Even if you go to the big box store and buy a Makita tool, it will come pre-taped up right from the factory. I also purchased, unrelated to this, an impact driver, brand new, and as you can see, that box also was taped up around the edges. So that's the way the factory does that. So here is, whoa, battery already installed. See how much life is left on that battery? Nothing. We're going to have to charge these guys up. Now, cost-wise, these batteries, the older little Porter cable, it was a 1.5 amp hour battery, and I bought the 2 amp hour batteries. In all honesty, this has served me well for all these years, but this battery is going to not as heavy as you can get. I get as much as a 6 amp hour battery. I don't need that kind of stuff. It just makes more weight, and these honestly feel about the same weight. But this is the 1/2-inch drill driver, and what I will say is the older one, I started having trouble with the clutch. The chuck tightening down. Sometimes I would have to really get a big tool to undo that because it would be seized up. Again, these are brushless tools. The old ones are brushed, and that's not a good idea to use in a shop with a lot of vapor around. This one obviously is 18 volts. The old one is 12. These both have a 20 position clutch. Both have a locking position when you can turn this one way or the other. Oh, there's enough juice in this battery to at least turn on the LED, and boy, that's kind of bright. Not enough juice in this one. We're gonna have to charge these batteries. And inside comes some clip things, I guess, for belt clips. I don't think I'll need much of that. I like this little guy. Again, this feels so much better in my hand than the old one. It just has a better grip on it, but they feel literally about the same weight. Although I'm not fond of the bulky battery hanging onto it, it will sit upright on my bench and not take up as much space as the old one. Single speed, 2-speed, all right? And you adjust that speed with this button right here, which is soft. Oops. I think my battery's completely dead. The box also has, a fancy little tool bag. Let's get that open. Not sure how much use I'm going to get out of that. The old one had nice compartments in there, but maybe it'll make a nice purse. And the battery charger itself goes for this style of batteries. You can charge up numerous types of batteries. It comes with a complete set of instruction manuals, warranty cards for both the impact driver and the hammer drill, and fast charger. Got the charger plugged in. Little green light says it's ready to go. So let's pull this battery out of here. Charge her up. Beep beep. I don't know if you can hear a fan running, but this red light is on now, and it's telling me it's charging. We'll come back in about 25 minutes. Okay, so the new guy does have 2 speeds. The old guy was only 1 speed, and I think it was like up to, I don't know, like 950 inch-pounds on the old guy. The new one is like 1,240 inch-pounds. But I'll probably leave it on the assist mode, because in clockwise direction, it helps get screws started without, and it won't start the impact until it actually gets the screw going in. I'll hopefully show that to you in a little bit. But it also, you can cycle through, let's see if I can see the lights there. You can cycle through the hard mode, which is like 4,100 beats a minute. Soft is like 2,100 beats a minute, half of that. But like I said, I'll probably just leave it in the assist the whole time, because in reverse, it's in the hard mode. But, 10 years younger. And regarding the drill driver, the old one is 3/8, the new one is 1/2 inch drill. They both are 2-speed. And the difference here, or the big difference between this guy, is this has also a hammer function. So I don't intend to use that too often, but having that option available and not have to get out a big rotary hammer is great. On the drill setting, there's no difference of where your clutch is set. And on the screw setting, use the clutch. And I most often use this when I'm reattaching fasteners. All in all, it's more powerful than the old one. Like the difference between, I don't know, like 220 inch-pounds between 350 inch-pounds. It's faster, everything, again, 10 years younger. Now, by far, the vast majority of my use on this guy is going to be removing small screws on the impact. And on the vast majority of how I'm going to use the drill is on a low clutch setting to put those back in. Oops, other way. Hardly in there. Got that set on 8. Not too tight. And then I'll finish those up with, not to over torque those. That's the vast majority of how I'm going to use both of these tools. Now these are the same 3 1/8 inch GRK screws that I was using to put that sill plate in. And I have this in the assist mode. I'm going to see how this goes right here. See how this... Oops, well, I guess if I was smart, I would use the little thing there to keep me from banging in. There we go. Wow, that went a little deep. And take this back out again. These GRK screws have like a reverse thread on them, so it makes it kind of difficult to completely reverse it out. But that's pretty impressive. This is a 1332 masonry bit. See how this does in concrete masonry. That's low speed, should be more torque. Let's see what happens on the high speed. Yeah, high speed is the way to go. And battery-wise, not a blink. And just for fun, I've put in a 5/8 inch masonry bit. See how that does. Like butter. I went ahead and put the little belt clips on because it's going to be a long time before I can break my habit of, laying the tool down on the side, so I figure that's less wear and tear on the battery. But hopefully, I'll get many more years of use out of these. So I managed to catch these tools on sale. I think it was like 50 bucks off of whatever the regular price was. And I decided at that point, with the rewards points that I had, it was actually going to cost me about the same as it would be just to replace the batteries in this. I will post a link in the description of the video on this, so if you're interested in that, obviously, take a look at these. I like them because they're small, they're subcompact. Hopefully somebody can get some use out of these tools. I don't know, I don't need any more tools in my tiny little shop here. It's cluttered enough as it is. If you like videos on tools, I actually have a playlist of some pretty cool tools right here. Mo happy. And here's a bonus they don't tell you about. I could have done that better.